Fettuccine Alfredo is my favorite pasta, that's how it goes. Fettuccine Alfredo makes me wanna crawl in through your window. We are the Fettuccine Alfredo Bros.
Wow, that's really good, man.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the AlfredoCast, the world's #1 podcast dedicated to fettuccine Alfredo. We are very excited because today we are going to have Max Donovan on the podcast. Max, he's an actor who you may know from his starring role in Disney Channel's Gabby Duran. And thanks to RJ, you helped set up this interview. You reached out and...
That's right.
Yeah, so he's a huge fan of fettuccine Alfredo then, I guess, if he's coming on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was a bit of a dumb question. Everyone's a fan of fettuccine Alfredo. Okay.
Right, yeah.
Let's get this interview underway. Okay, Max, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Hey, how are you guys?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Great. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Okay, so yeah, we just kind of recorded the opening, but now I'm thinking I should have said, "Hi, I'm Octavian, and you're watching AlfredoCast." Right, because that's the Disney Channel thing.
Yeah. Cool, I got it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, tell us a little bit about your show, Gabby Duran, on Disney Channel.
All right. Well, Gabby Duran is a show based around this girl named Gabby Duran who she discovers the existence of aliens and starts babysitting for her eccentric Principal Swift, who happens to be an alien. And I'm her best friend, Wesley, or I play her best friend, Wesley, who is a conspiracy theorist. So, obviously, when he finds out about them, there's some hijinks. And he goes on to help out on her babysitting assignments, and hilarity ensues.
That's awesome. That sounds exactly like the kind of show that I would have, absolutely loved when I was little. RJ, did you used to watch those kind of shows?
No, I didn't, but it sounds great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Max, now, you being an actor, and now a lot of people don't know this, but in Hollywood on sets, they do feed you guys, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
way too much food, to be honest.
I bet. Now, on set, what kind of meals do they serve you guys? Like, what types of food would you have?
Oh, well, we have this thing called craft services, which is sort of like where we can go to get snacks at any point during the day. So they have all sorts of things, like you can make a toast or sandwiches. Sometimes they have Pop-Tarts, veggies, granola bars. And then the good meals are with catering, who on our show is actually based in a truck, and they're there all the time. And they cook up like pork and steaks. And they also have a lot of vegan options, It's pretty good.
Nice.
Do they have
anything else?
Pasta? Yeah. Any other?
We've had pasta once or twice.
What kind?
I think it was like spaghetti bolognese. Or penne one time. Yeah.
Huh.
It's pretty good.
What about like something else, like some fettuccine type pasta? Do you ever have that?
I don't think that we have.
I
don't. I don't know. I know that not a ton of people on set eat fettuccine Alfredo.
Okay.
Oh.
Sorry, you have something in your throat or something?
Yeah, sir. No, I'm good now.
No worries.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, we haven't had fettuccine Alfredo. Now that I come to think of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's so like never though.
I mean, I've had Alfredo before. Personal big fan, but we haven't had it on set. We did actually have it in one episode. Principal Swift was like trying to interrogate Wesley, and he had fettuccine Alfredo, but I don't know if it was real. It might have been like a vegan alternative.
So it's on the I see. So it's on the show. It's a part of the show. I see.
Yeah, it is.
That's
An
awesome.
integral part of the show that one might
Integral,
say.
yes.
Okay.
Wow.
You
Nice.
mentioning that you eat fettuccine Alfredo kind of leads me into my next question, which is, would you say that fettuccine Alfredo kind of helps you get into character, like when you're acting or when you're trying to get into a role? Because for actors, I'm sure that's very hard. And when you're doing that, do you like eat fettuccine Alfredo or like look at pictures of it or something like that to help inspire you?
I haven't ever really found myself eating it to get into a character. I think it did help me in that one scene where I got to act across from fettuccine. Other than that, I can't say that I gotta ask, why are there so many fettuccine Alfredo questions?
How often do you eat fettuccine Alfredo?
Like, how many times a day, Rob? Like, is it more of a morning routine, or is it kind of later in the day?
I mean, I'd say maybe once or twice a year, to be honest.
Oh my god.
Like, is that...
Yeah.
Is that like... Is that because you, like, get grounded a lot? Or...
No, I never really find myself having much of an opportunity to eat it. I get it when I go to Olive Garden.
So I think there might have been a little bit of feedback on my end, because I heard you say year. Did you mean, like, week?
No, I meant
month,
year.
Maybe?
Like...
I mean...
Like 365
I definitely don't have it more than
year.
once a month, but I don't even know if I've had it, 12 times in my entire life. Is that low?
Is that's
okay.
All right. That's okay. It just means that you've got a lot of great fettuccine Alfredo ahead of you.
He's got a lot to
Cool.
experience, is what that means, Octavian. He's got a lot to learn.
Well, I'm excited.
You should be.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So I'm sure you audition for a lot of shows, right? Like, I'm sure as an actor you get sent a lot of auditions, and you do that pretty frequently, right?
Yeah.
Out of, like, every 10 auditions, how many of them, like, have scripts that involve fettuccine Alfredo?
Okay, is this a prank or something?
Is what, like...
I'm sorry.
Is what a prank?
I feel like you guys are asking a lot about fettuccine.
Well, that's the... Well, yeah, like, that's the show, though.
It's fettuccine Alfredo.
What do you
show.
mean that's the show?
It's like that. We're the number one fettuccine Alfredo podcast in the world. Like, we're the
In the
Alfredo
world.
cast.
Yeah.
AlfredoCast. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, Max, the podcast you're on, the Alfredo cast. RJ, he knows that. He knows what he's...
There must have... I thought I mean, maybe there's a miscommunication. I thought that you or he...
I don't recall you mentioning that to me, if I'm being honest.
Did RJ, you told him it was like you reached out to him and asked him.
I thought I did.
Well, I thought you did too. Like, so Matt, you didn't. This is the Alfredo cast. It's the world's number one fettuccine Alfredo podcast. It's
In the world.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. I didn't know that it was the Fettuccine Alfredo podcast, or the Alfredo cast, I think you were calling it. That's interesting. That's
Okay. Thanks for doing the questions. You probably don't know this, because you weren't
I'm sorry,
briefed.
but how does that work? Like, who listens to the Alfredo cast? Like, what's your audience?
So every
Enthusiasts?
episode we do a game. What?
And who he was at... Should we...
Like in...
And
Well, we have a pretty big audience, because there are a lot of people that are really passionate.
No,
about
I'm
it.
sure you do. I'm sure you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's worldwide.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So every episode we do a game. There's
Okay.
like a fun game that we do. This. Sorry, 1 second. This week we're doing Never Have I Alfredo, which
That's a good one.
is a game that you might know something about, because it's kind of similar to a different game. This one RJ actually came up with. It's sort of similar to this game called Never Have I Ever. And
I've heard of that one.
Never Have I Ever. Yeah, if you've probably played it before. So here's how Never Have I Alfredo works. So we're gonna go around and each say something that we've like never done, and we're gonna preface our statement with Never Have I Ever, or if you want to spice it up, Never Have I Alfredo, right?
Oh, that's where the catch comes in. That's what makes it fun.
That's the difference. And if someone here has done the thing that we've never done, they get a point. And after 5 questions, the person with the most points is going to win. So let me show you. I'll do the first question. I'll kick it off. Never have I ever made fettuccine Alfredo outside. Has anyone...
I can't say that I have.
I sure have.
You have? Okay, wow, there we go. RJ, you get a point.
All right.
There we go. So RJ's ahead of both of us because I think this might come as a bit of a shock to a lot of our listeners because they might think that, he's made fettuccine Alfredo everywhere. But I've actually never made it outside. I'm something of an indoor
kidding me.
fettuccine man. I don't do
Is
much
there
of
a
anything
big
outside.
Is there a big difference between indoor and outdoor fettuccine?
Yeah, no, I've been told. Again, I've never made it outside. I have eaten fettuccine Alfredo that was made outside and then got brought in to the house. Like my dad's gone out and caught it and stuff. And anyway, I've heard that outdoor fettuccine Alfredo, and I've tasted it a couple times, but it was when I was really young, when my dad was still around, and I've heard that fettuccine Alfredo made outside is actually you can taste the woodlands in it. When you make fettuccine Alfredo inside, it tastes a lot tastes like whatever environment it was made of. That's sort of a beautiful thing about fettuccine Alfredo. You make it in a van, it has that new car smell. You make it in your house, it has that homely feeling. And when you make it outside, I've heard that it actually tastes like trees.
It's a chameleon of the ambience.
But to be honest, RJ, I shouldn't be answering this. What about you? You've made it outside. It's kind of exciting.
100%. No, I made it outside. The first time I made it outside, unfortunately, I wasn't aware of the properties that it would take because I made it in a back alley, and it wasn't... I should have known, but it still was fettuccine Alfredo. And while the homeless guy may have affected the taste a little bit, it was still fettuccine Alfredo, and I think that's, what makes it so special.
Absolutely. I mean, it is kind of impossible to make a bad fettuccine Alfredo.
Oh my god, yeah.
Even
actually, I have a question for Max, if that's okay,
Sure.
Never Have I Alfredo. Okay, never have I Alfredo had fettuccine Alfredo twice a day for a week.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I haven't had it that often, but I've had it twice in 6 months.
Oh, well, I've had it twice a day for a week.
Do I get a point, or does that not count?
No.
Okay.
No. I've had fettuccine Alfredo twice a day for a week. That's kind of most weeks for me. I've got to be honest.
Okay.
I get a point, Max.
Good for you.
Nice.
I feel like I'm losing.
Well, it's because you are. Check back at the scoreboard. I have a point. RJ has a point. Now, Max, it's your turn to ask a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Never have I Alfredo acted across from Alfredo.
Wow.
That's a very good question.
I have not acted across from Alfredo. Do you mean like on a film project, like on a film or television project, or like acting as in like lying? Like if you had to, hypothetically, like if you had to lie to your dad about where you'd been the night before so he didn't hurt you, and you were eating fettuccine Alfredo, so it was kind of in between you guys, and he was eating it too, so it was across from you. Like, is that what you mean, or do you mean like film and television? Is that what you're talking about?
I think we can just go ahead and give you a point. I think that counts. What do you think, RJ?
I have acted in front of fettuccine Alfredo several times.
Wow.
Yes.
In which projects?
All of them.
Wow. See, that's the kind of stuff I love to watch. When you just have a good actor, a great actor, and fettuccine Alfredo. That's movie magic right there.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one.
Max, last week we actually had Elliot Gould on the podcast, and he was talking about how throughout his career and his life has really been inspired and influenced by fettuccine Alfredo. Now, I'm going to ask you the same question. You, as an actor, would you say that fettuccine Alfredo is what drives you? Is it what kind of motivates you to, get in gear?
Um, I really want to say yes. I feel like I've been
Nice.
saying no a lot, but you know, I can't say that so far over the course of my career it's been a huge motivator for me.
Oh,
Occasionally, I do find myself craving some food and being like, if I just get through this
Fettuccine
scene,
Alfredo?
then I can get some food.
fettuccine Alfredo?
Yeah, sure. On that episode
Nice.
when they were eating fettuccine alfredo, I did want it for sure. So I'd say in that instance, it drove me to get that scene done. Although they threw it out before I ever got to eat it. Yeah.
They what?
Well, apparently it was like a day old.
I mean, it's
Which-
fettuccine Alfredo, though.
It's still fettuccine Alfredo. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but it didn't smell very good.
Okay, you know what? My next question, never have I ever had day-old fettuccine Alfredo. Has anyone... So, clearly you haven't, Max. RJ, have you...
No, I haven't.
RJ, have you had day-old fettuccine Alfredo before?
I have had day old fettuccine Alfredo, Octavian. I have it all the time because sometimes you really want fettuccine Alfredo, but you don't want to make it, but because they didn't have our course that we have made for everyone, Octavian, right?
That's right.
And sometimes you don't really know how to make it, and so you have what you made from yesterday. So I have, yeah.
That's right. See, I think, day-old fettuccine Alfredo is kind of the best way to eat it, I've got to say. Especially, like, when it hasn't been refrigerated, because then you really get that sort of lukewarm feeling.
That doesn't sound very safe, guys.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I've only been to the hospital twice, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but eating it like that, the sort of milk inside of the cheese sauce is congealed a little bit, so it's a little bit like for example, like, chunky peanut butter. That's the kind
Yeah.
of consistency that it sort of feels like when you have
Oh.
a day old. And I know.
Well, I do like chunky peanut butter.
Yeah, see, now I know what a lot of people are thinking when they hear my description of it, and they're like, oh my god, that sounds so good. And I've got to say, it's better than what you're imagining. Right now, you're imagining something, like, incredible, like the best food you've ever had. I got to tell you guys, it's insane. Next time you make
Wow.
fettuccine Alfredo, just go to bed hungry, leave it on the table, and come back the next morning and have it for breakfast. And I swear, it's going to be the best meal you've ever eaten.
I've got to say, I am kind of interested. I think if I ever have fettuccine alfredo at home, I'll have to try that.
Well, you should,
There you go.
Did you and your family, like, in preparing for self-isolation, did you guys get any fettuccine? Because then you could try it.
I wish we had. We didn't actually get any. They were all sold out. I don't know. Some guys bought like 45 pallets of it. I don't know who that was, but it just...
RJ, it's your
all
turn
gone.
for the never have I ever question.
All right. Max, never have I, Alfredo, had fettuccine Alfredo whilst underwater.
Ooh.
Does it count if I've had it next to a pool and then jumped in while it was still
No.
in my mouth?
No.
Okay. Then no.
Wow.
I-
Octavian, what about you?
Listen, on game shows you're supposed to kind of let the guests win, but I gotta say, I have. I gotta say, I did it once, and I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm gonna get some backlash from this. I know that this is a huge sort of debate around the community. I'm on the side of not a fan. It gets everywhere.
What?
The chlorine mixes with it, which tastes fine. but
That's the
then,
best part, though.
Of course, it's fettuccine Alfredo. I would never say that a dish of fettuccine Alfredo is bad, but not for me. I'm sorry. I know I might. Listen, Max, this is a nightmare. I might get canceled on Twitter tomorrow in the fettuccine
Oh, no.
Alfredo communities. But you know what?
Nice.
That's my opinion. That's the way I feel, and I'll express that. Even
Fair enough.
Even
Respect your opinion.
wrong opinions, like Max only eating fettuccine Alfredo a few times a year, can be respected, and that's sort of the beautiful...
Not very well respected, but it is an opinion,
respect by default. So that's
Okay.
that was the final question in our game. Let's do the tally. I have 3 points. RJ, you
Nice.
had 2 points, and Max came in at none.
0?
Yeah, but don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Everyone is gonna go away with a prize. That's why we've actually shipped a pallet of fettuccine to your house.
Will you look at
Wow. Oh, I can't wait.
It's gonna show up in a giant truck, and you're gonna get to have fun and eat as much fettuccine as you like. Don't listen to the people who tell you not to. Eat it every day, and I can't wait. I hope you let us know.
that? Send us in a video.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as I get that pallet, I'm gonna try it everywhere. I'm gonna try cooking it outside, and I don't have a pool, but if I did, I would try it underwater.
Shower works too.
Does it? Okay.
Yes.
What, bathtub? Would that be
No.
better?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Well,
Well,
thank
cool.
you so much for being on the podcast. This was interesting, and
Yeah.
if for all of you listeners, Max is on the Disney Channel show Gabby and the Unsittables, and he is going to they're shooting season 2. Is that right? Well, obviously not right now, but they were shooting a second season.
We are in the technically in the midst of shooting season 2, but we got sent home a little early due to that big mean COVID thing.
Well, I'm definitely gonna be watching. RJ, are you?
No, but it sounds great, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the podcast. This was cool, and I wish you well in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm excited to get more into fettuccine alfredo.
Yeah,
Where should
I bet.
where should I follow you guys?
Well, you can follow us on Instagram. Our podcast, you can follow on Instagram at AlfredoCast official. And
Okay.
yeah, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow us on MySpace, and that's all of our social media. So go there, Max. You especially. You can educate yourself.
Yeah.
And we, RJ and I, will see you, the audience, next time with another special guest. Okay, thanks, Max. Thanks for being on.
Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you.
I'll be listening in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.